Barnard, Group Managing Editor for TMCnet, coming to you from IT Expo East 2011 in Miami. And joining me is Barbara Dehart, Vice President of Marketing for Telestream. Hi Barbara, how are you doing today?
Hi, Pat, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Good, thanks for coming to the show. So your company specializes in online video tools, correct?
Yes, we do.
And obviously this is a very important area of focus now for enterprises, as they're discovering that online video is a very powerful business tool as long as it's used properly. And of course the thing I always say is now that the bandwidth constraints have been lifted, it's something that's really now free to blossom. And it is starting to do so. Obviously, it can be a very powerful tool in that the video can now be integrated into a lot of different web mediums. Tell me a little bit about what Telestream does and sort of what makes your offering unique in the marketplace.
Great, happy to. Well, Telestream has a long history in the media and entertainment business, and like a lot of people who are now providing business solutions to the enterprise, video solutions to the enterprise, we have a long, rich history in high-value content, high-quality production, and in the media and entertainment has solved a lot of the problems that are now starting to kind of come into the business or come into the enterprise. And Telestream plays a role both on the infrastructure side, we have an enterprise side of our business, but the products that we're here to talk about at Business Video Expo are more oriented to the desktop. So really, as we saw with desktop publishing way back when we really started to put the tools in the hands of the users, that's what we're seeing is with the whole video revolution, it's that the content can really be produced in any scale, either from users generating and sharing their own content, both inside and outside of organizations, and then really up to very sophisticated business video, kind of corporate strategy. So it's an exciting time, and everything now is moving so quickly. The explosion is really happening, so it's a very fun place to be.
Okay, great. I understand you were a panelist on a session this morning as part of our Business Video Expo.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that session.
Well, we were there talking about, it was the co-panelists were from Safeway and Adobe, and we were talking really about some of the challenges. And you see a lot of diversity in people trying to solve the problems either at small, medium, and large in ways. So we saw Safeway, who has had a very, very, very long-standing strategic commitment to video. They've been streaming video since the 90s, and so they have a very sophisticated operation. They, like many of the folks here at IT Expo, are starting small, or they started small, and that's really the message for us, is that we can see, there are tools we can put in the individual user's hands, and then tools that scale all the way up to pretty sophisticated implementation. So we're seeing it everywhere, and it was a great discussion with a real life example, someone like Safeway who's really using it as a strategic advantage.
Right. Interesting point you make about regarding the quality of the content. I mean, we're seeing quite a big variety out there. There are some organizations that are putting a real lot of production value into what they're doing, and then other ones are saying, let's just keep this sort of loose and casual, and if it's not perfect, that's okay, because it still serves our purpose. What's your take on that in terms of how polished things are gonna get in the future as the tools get more savvy and sophisticated?
Well, I think we look at tools like YouTube, right? So YouTube has changed the model forever. User-generated content that there's a lot of stuff out there that people people don't really pay attention to, and maybe for good reason, but there's a lot of really valuable content, and so I think that people sharing their voice and using video as the medium for that is really powerful, whether you're communicating inside an organization or outside. And typically when we have marketing departments developing content for customer-facing things, of course, those need to be more highly produced. There's a lot of, the value of that content, the production value of that content makes a lot of sense. But there's a tremendous amount of learning that can occur inside of an enterprise. Just sharing information. If I know how to do something, a picture really is worth 1,000 words. Well, and if a picture's worth 1,000 words, how much is moving pictures worth, right? So video really can take things to a whole nother level. And so it's fun right now for us to just see the power of that individuals out there sharing just little bits and pieces of information, us even as a company sharing little bits and pieces of information about a product and how it works, and being able to quickly produce it and then share it. It's really powerful.
Okay, great. And lastly, what about the strategy for corporations in terms of how they utilize the video? Obviously, you have to get the audience in place for it first, then there's the production, and then there's what you do with it afterward, which is probably almost equally as important. There has to sort of be a continuity there in terms of what you're doing to really sort of bolster the value of it and get good effectiveness out of what you're doing.
Yeah, and again, the good news is you can start small, so you can start just with messing around with video a little bit here and there. And then it can grow. It can grow. The way that it grows best, though, is with collaboration between the video teams and the IT infrastructure, because they're completely dependent on each other when you're rolling things out like video across the network. But it's, you can start small and grow from there. And really, it's all feeds back into the original question, which is what problem are you trying to solve, or what are you trying to accomplish, and how can video help that effort?
Right. Okay, great. Thanks very much for your time. We've been talking to Barbara Dehart, Vice President of Marketing for Telestream, coming to you from IT Expo East 2011 in Miami. Thanks again for your time.
My pleasure.